Sometimes as science fiction and fantasy authors, I think we get so used to world building and that whole kind of water we little author fish swim in that we forget how cool it is and we forget its place in the overall narrative. And it is cool. So here is a little bit of encouragement and some ideas for how to really think about the world building in your own story and to keep that present in a way that makes sense for you as you're writing. I know for me as well, sometimes I can think so much about all the different aspects of storytelling, even as an experienced author of over 15 years, many books out there. It can be something that I'm so used to that I kind of forget to use it or explore it as much as I should, even when I'm really enjoying it. And so here is a little bit of encouragement for your day. Hey there, Janeen Ippolito here of Author Culture, and I do love world building. Two of the books that I first had published, and actually the first book that I ever self-published was a world building book, all about world building and culture, because I am a culture nerd with literally a degree in cross-cultural studies along with writing and education. And I also really just love creating and exploring different worlds. It makes me really happy. I enjoy it. It is a thing. And so I just want to encourage you, all of you out there, to make sure that you are enjoying your story worlds in the way that fits what you're telling in that whole narrative. And it's really funny because we're writing science fiction and fantasy, and it's all about the world building. That's really the main thing that separates science fiction and fantasy from contemporary. It's the setting. It's the elves. It's the dwarves. It's the questions you're asking. It's the deep interstellar expeditions you're taking. It's the advanced technology you're using. It's the superpowers. It's all of that stuff that honestly, if you were trying to just make a quick buck in the fastest way, you wouldn't be doing it in this genre because the world building is extra work. Contemporary genres don't require that level. They still have their own world building and their own setting details, but if you even compare the wallpaper world building, the kind of background world building or the stock tropes world building of some romantasy books or just different cozy style books, it's still more than if you were writing something in the contemporary area. Now, no shade on people who are writing in, contemporary thrillers or rom-coms or those kind of things. There's still work you have to do. There's still research that you have to do, hopefully, to make sure that you're writing your story in a way that's going to be well written and make sense. But you aren't having to figure out, completely different cultures, but also figure out how to way to make those cultures accessible to the people reading the books. It's an extra challenge. So as you're writing your science fiction and fantasy world, make sure that you're enjoying your world building. Make sure that it's exciting you. Make sure that it's saying something you want to say. You have this unique opportunity to create something that can engage with readers. And as I talked about in my episode on message, can carry different things about your story and message that other people don't have. World building can be a really powerful conveyor of message in a very non-preachy way. Now, can you use world building in a preachy way? Oh, yes, you can. Oh, it can happen. And we can talk about that in a later episode. But it can also be a subtle way to ask questions, to consider things, to shape a story world in a way that lets you have the conversations you want to have and still be entertaining to readers. So make sure that you're enjoying that. Make sure that that's something that you're focusing on in some way. In my book that I am hopefully finishing this month, Lord willing, that was something that I was getting so focused on the characters and trying to wrestle these plots and stories together. Yes, plots. I tend to overplot. I always have to pull plots out of my book and say, no, we have one inciting incident and one resolution, not 5. But I found that, and this wasn't a great sign, that I was getting tired of writing the story and I'd lost sight of what I loved about the story world and what I was enjoying about living in that world. And I was so focused on trying to get it done and trying to hit deadlines and being kind of embarrassed about all of that, that I was forgetting part of the fun of why I write in the science fiction and fantasy genres instead of, a rom-com or thriller or mystery that doesn't involve having to create all these extra races and make them all connect together. So I kind of stepped back and did some journaling, asked some questions, and sort of reshaped how I'm going to approach this whole story. And it really did help. And I'm very excited to dive in again and actively be working on it. But that's something that I want to encourage you as well. Make sure that you are enjoying and excited about this incredibly unique part of our many subgenres. And that it's something that interests you. Because really, if it doesn't, there are other genres that do not require this level of work. So if you're going to be here and you're going to be diving into science fiction and fantasy, make sure that you're enjoying the things that make it science fiction or fantasy. And I will do the same with my book 26, 27, something like that. You lose track after a while. And I hope that you're having a fantastic day. Thank you so much for tuning in to this quick bit of encouragement. If you haven't already, do make sure that you are following this on Substack. And if you haven't already, hop over to my Ko-fi. I have a really cool little membership there that I'm starting up again with utterly awesome tiers and a place that if you just want to throw a little bit of extra encouragement, you can donate as little as $1, and it will support all the infrastructure for this podcast and for everything I do to help authors just like you think well, do well, and live well in a chaotic publishing world. Now go forth and be awesome.